It's an emotional.
No, it's emotional.
What makes it emotional? Because you were giving $100,000 to do a piece of work, and
I'm talking about the issue surrounding where the money is.
What? Yeah, give the background.
So I mean, that's the point I'm trying to drive home. I don't like to throw words at people, and I like to be very clear about the things I say when I have to say them. In 2008, while celebrating our anniversary at the University of Liberia, we received Mr. Kledusie as emissary from the president, who announced that the president had donated or pledged $100,000 for the construction of the headquarters of the Prez Union. And as a person who has always been critical and careful, I was the first person to ask about the source of the money. And I'd like to be on record for saying this again. And that was misunderstood. A lot of people misunderstood it, our friends misunderstood it, and said that we were resisting the money, and said that we were against the president, and all manner of stuff. But it was important to raise this argument because at the end of the day, the president himself said that it was not government's money, it was the money that was given from a friend. But that aside the issue. The money was given, and I'd like to give a quick summary. The money was given on the eve of our elections. Just I think 2-3 weeks to elections, and our argument was when we left the whole discussion about
what year are you talking about?
This is 2008.
Okay.
2008.
That'll be 5 years ago.
Yes, and then we made a point that the new leadership should be the one to execute the project. And that didn't make sense, so it was about taking credit for that money. After our friends made it appear that we were against the money, our friends made it appear that we were against the president. Those are small arguments that we were raising, and I thought it would make some sense to us because you can't build a house in 2 weeks. I mean, it was not something that you were procuring a car. We're not procuring office equipment. We're building a house. But what was even more troubling in that whole argument is the fact that we had $100,000. Remember, you are a lawyer. We had $100,000, but we entered a contract for $760,000 US. And I thought that was too much troubling for the Prez Union to accept. In my advocacy for the Prez Union, in my protection of the Prez Union, I thought that wasn't a good business. And I said to my friends that we cannot accept this contract. I know President Shirley and other governments have been fighting contracts in this country. We're still talking about contracts. For the Prez Union to enter a contract of that magnitude that we did not have the resources for. Mm-hmm. And the gentleman who signed the contract was on his way to the Prez Union. Where did you expect us to generate $760,000 from to pay for efforts? I mean, I've said to some people, if I met
but the question, what happened to the 100,000?
That's where I'm coming. Mm-hmm. $100,000 was deposited in the RB Bank, right? Our predecessor, Mr. George Barton, signed that contract, and the money was given to a contractor, transferred from one account to the contractor's account. It's a contractor called Arnold Contractor Company.
Arnold.
The RB Bank had the money, and the money was transferred from one account into the account of the contractor. That money, for the record, was not placed in any existing account of the Prez Union. Mm. So.
No, initially it was in the Prez Union account.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it went straight to the account of the contractor.
It wasn't.
From the donor.
This is the point I'm making. The executive mansion set up an account at the Abbey.
Who are the signatory?
Nobody.
Okay.
Nobody. What happened was the leadership by banking procedures, I believe, needed to send signatories to the account to be able to claim the account. It was just raised in Prez Union name. And then we had a controversy over the expenditure of the money at that time. The reason why we did not have the signatories sent was this. Our friends were suggesting that we needed one more person to add to the signatories who was not a legitimate leader of the Prez Union. And I refused to sign that.
How come the money landed in the account of the contractor?
That's why I'm coming to it.
Yeah, because you ought to be a little bit...
I need to be quick, right? Yeah. Mr. George Papin wrote a letter to the IB Bank, asked the bank to transfer the money from the account that it was placed in by the executive mansion to the account of the contractor. Two set of
And the bank
instructions.
honored that.
The bank honored it.
Okay.
The bank honored it. He written a letter to the bank not to do it. The bank honored that.
George Papin was then the president.
Yes, he was on his way out of the press union. Right? The bank honored that without that letter being notarized. The letter was never notarized. All of our transaction with the press union, when we changed
How can somebody authorize transaction on an account that is not a signatory to?
Normally, this is where we journalists have not been able to investigate. We have left this thing to be a fight between president.
That is he has a responsibility.
No,
Mr.
no, no,
As
no, no.
president of the
We
union,
have-
you should have taken the bank to court. That was something that I don't know how the bank honor a communication from somebody who is not a signatory to an account.
Mamadi, we've done that. We've done that over time, and I'm sure.
So in short, where is it now? The money has vanished in thin air?
Well,
Nobody can
vanish is the word to use. No.
Okay, what happened to the
I
money?
think, like I said, the money was transferred from the account that the executive mansion placed in into the account of the
Under contract.
the contractor, under contract, right? There were two sets of instructions that were given the bank. One, there was $93,000 to be transferred. Normally, I will send you copies of the letter. And sorry I didn't come with it. I will send you a copy of the letter and the contract, so you can do your own analysis of it. The money was transferred, and the bank was asked to send $93,000 into the contractor's account and $5,000 into one consultant account.
For
Well, I say for consultancy.
okay,
Consultancy.
you were around that time. You didn't reject that openly. There was no.
No, Mama,
you didn't
I
hear
wrote a
from-
letter.
Yeah.
I wrote a letter to the bank.
No, apart from writing a letter to the bank, did you come in the public and then comment?
Oh,
on
Mama,
that?
you were not in Liberia at the time.
I'm
Mama,
asking.
there was noise. There was noise in this town, and I talked the
So
president.
who do you think should be held responsible for this?
Normally, there was noise in this town, and I thought the president who even donated the money could be careful about how the money was expanded, how the money could leave the bank. Because I was amazed when I went to the bank. I wrote a letter to the bank, and the bank called me. When I went to the bank, I saw one Estrada Bernard, who said to me that he was under instruction to ensure that the money was used for the construction of PA headquarters. And therefore, the only way I could stop the money from leaving the bank was to go to court. He said that to me. Right? So, I mean, this is a complicated argument, and I don't like to get involved with it without really throwing some thoughts. And I don't want to do that at this point.
Can we
I
hold
have
anybody
done-
responsible for this?
Say that again?
Can we hold anybody responsible, and we should be that person?
Oh, well, I mean, a contract is sitting at the press union that we need to service. My argument is, are we prepared to pay $760,000?
I understand
for a
that.
house?
My concentration is on the $100,000. You know, as a watchdog of society, we cannot be seen as doing the wrong thing.
Mamadi,
This-
I didn't sign that contract.
You're part of leadership now.
No, listen. No.
You didn't
It's-
authorize the transfer
No,
of
no,
the
no,
money.
Mamadi, the records are so clear. If you went to that bank, you will see a letter from mine on my signature asking the bank not to transact.
Okay.
If you went to the bank, you will see a letter there asking the bank not to transact business.
With the contractor.
Thank you.
All right.
With these guys who were asking for the money to be transferred. And at that point, it is at that point that I saw Councilor Estrada Bernard, who said
From
he
the
was
office of the
he
president.
said he was legal counsel for the president, and then I later got to know, it was after I left that bank that I got to know that Councilor Estrada Bernard was also from the president's office and even brother-in-law to the president. When I find out all of those kinds of things that, I heard the transaction between the bank and our friends who left the press union, then I understood that there was
Mr.
something.
Quaqua, you've been 5 years now. What has happened to that money? You've been sitting as president of the press union. You've not taken the single decision.
Mamadi,
You've not made a decision to go to
asked-
court.
No.
You've
We
not-
are in court, Mamadi.
Okay.
We've asked the court to cancel the contract. That's the first thing we've done. Because for me, the most we can do is to remove that liability from the press union. That has been my approach. We cannot pay $760,000, and the press union should not be held responsible to pay that money to any contractor. That has been the argument. For the money, the way and manner that it was treated, I like to believe.
Who was the consultant that paid the $5,000 though?
One James Smith. I don't know him.
You've never seen him.
I've never seen him.
What is the former president saying about all this? Have you
Well, I think
confronted him on it?
he has some arguments, and I think probably people should ask him. I did a very narrative.
I think we should be burying our hair in shame with this as media persons.
Oh no, we should.
We could not manage
We should.
$100,000.
But mind you, Mamadi, I've always spoken about the manner and form in which we want to engage the media to do stuff in this town, it should not be to patronize the media. It should not be from the position of trying to manipulate the media to do stuff.
No, past that, the fact that you receive the money, it becomes imperative upon you to spend the money wisely. Because this is open misuse of public funds.
Mamadi,
I can say.
This is a man who disagrees with the expenditure of that money for the
Well, I've not felt your involvement to the extent of making it right, correcting the wrong.
Mamadi, we're in code.
5 years, Mr. Quaqua. 5
well, I
years.
I don't control the force.
No, have you superintended your case in court through your lawyers?
Oh, yes.
Well, how can you stay that long?
We have had, Mamadi, I cannot be the one who's done wrong here. I don't want you to.
You're part of leadership now.
Oh, no, but being part of leadership doesn't necessarily mean that I am the one who, executed the project.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, I mean, you're suggesting that
because
I was part of leadership.
You cannot exclude yourself from the leadership that misused the money. I can say, because you give $5,000 to somebody, you send $90-some thousand out to a contractor's account, you enter a contract that practically cannot be implemented because you don't have the money.
Mamadi,
yeah,
I did not sign that contract. There are bad contracts in our country today that have been reviewed and cancelled. What we've sought to do as the leadership of the president while we were there was to cancel that contract. And for me, if there is anything that we can do as the media trying to resolve this matter, one is to either accept the contract and find the money to pay and let the construction work go on.
Okay. So what's your advice to the incoming president on the $100,000? What should he do?
I have said that I tried my best to ensure that contract was cancelled. In my lifetime, the president didn't cancel it. The contract is sitting. If the incoming leadership finds the faith and that they can raise the money, they should accept it and let the project go on and find the money. Otherwise, we should ensure that that contract is cancelled.
And what happened to the 100,000?
Well, I mean, that would be another level.
Okay.
Naturally,
no, that's the central point.
Yeah, naturally, if the contract is cancelled, I'm sure the court will be a proper place to say whether the contractor should bring the money back or not. I don't know how that's going to happen, right? It's not me, Mamadi, and I don't come with the attitude of trying to clean my hands out of everything that happened, but this is the account that I can give.
Okay.
And I have.
Okay, no, that is fair. If you can take yourself out of it, that's fair. Let's see what happens next.
Okay. Yeah, what questions and answers? George Bappin will be, George Bappin will be the right person now to confront.
Oh no, I said to you, it should not be treated as a confrontation between Bappin and I.
No, but
listen to me.
From where we are now.
Listen to me.
No, you made some point that indicate that Judge Bappin should be held responsible. The fact that he signed a contract against your advice, he authorized the transfer of the money to the account of the contractor against your advice.
Yes, he did.
So he take the bigger responsibility. That's what you're indicating.
That is where we are. That is where we are. And I don't miss words on this.